Melissa is open. Actually, no, Melissa did place down a tower shield. Yeah. If the minion, the Helpful Commander, placed down like a hit, the tower shield would have been for nothing. That open hit. Oh man, this is really close. Both of them are at less than 1,000 HP. This can go both either way. Antonia with the bubble. Melissa here with 6 pips and shadow hit. Antonia with that DOT. And let's see. And there's about 2 minutes left of this match. It can go either way. It can go either way. Yeah, so he's a balance. And Melissa is a death. So you have 110 damage, 10,131 HP, 69 to 71 resist, 17% accuracy, 368 crit, 385 to 430 to 455 block rating. Healing is 26 incoming. Armor piercing is at 35. Power pips 100. Shadow pip rating 60. Pip conversion 311. And for Melissa, let's see.
I'm gonna leave the call, right?
Okay, yeah, you can leave the call.
Alright,
so Melissa, you are, or BW, you are a knight rating of 660, 174 won, 164 loss, and yeah, so you have 9,583 HP, 300, got 112 damage, 65 res, 18% accuracy, 370 crit rating, 368 to 428 block, 25% incoming, 28% armor piercing, 311, pip conversion 96, power pip 59, shadow pip. You can go now. You can go. Yeah, you can go. And let's see. So you have a Armament 510 res, 963 damage, may cast virulence, and Antonio, he has a 611 res, 711 balance damage, and 4% pierce. Okay, you're literally bye. You can just mono burn every round and force me to Diego. Alright, let's just go there right now. Alright. Okay. We'll start that timer right now. So, oh, we're at this is the Marleybone one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, let's see. Okay, I will be editing this and doing commentary, post commentary, because the commentary during the live wasn't very good. So, thank you for coming to this YouTube video. We're gonna be doing balance versus death, and for myself, I specialize in death, and I don't have a balanced character, but I do know how to go defeat one. So when you are a death, what you have to go do is when you're going against a balance, is that you have to keep your pips low, and you're gonna have to like discard your astral star spells, for example, such as Braze, because they have a spell called Supernova where they can just pop it. Additionally, you also have to keep your again, your pips low, as well as discard any pips that are more than 6. Now there are some special exceptions, but generally you want to keep your pips low and discard any cards that are more than 6 pips. So that means discarding spells such as what is it? A Scion of Death, which is one of max level death PvP's best cards, as well as discarding spells such as Vengeful Seraph or Skeletal Dragon, because Vengeful requires max amount of pips and Skeletal Dragon is like I think 8 pips. But again, there are special exceptions. So for a balance, in order for themselves to defeat a death, what they need to go do is, you know, of course, pressure. For example, as you can see right here, Melissa has more than 6 pips, or you're just going to be spamming that mono burn. good news here is that inside of this tournament, we'd have placed a limitation where you're only allowed to use Mana Burn up to 5 times. So you're allowed to bring in 10 Mana Burns inside of your deck. However, you just can't use it more than 5 times. Now, going back into the battle, over here, I'll admit my bias. I am favoring Melissa because they are a Death Wizard, and to be honest, I'm not really a fan of balanced playthrough. But I'm gonna try to be neutral. Anyway, so yeah, Melissa over here is just blade stacking as well as of course placing V Plague. The good news about V Plague is that similar to how a lot of people find Balance's Mana Burn to be very annoying, Death's most annoying spell would have to be V Plague, because you can't really do anything about it, and they can just constantly spam that V Plague. It's only 2 pips, and with the spring update, it used to cost more pips, and now it only costs 2, which is really nice. So over here we have Melissa going with bubble control. It's really nice and really important for yourself to have as much bubble control as possible. Generally speaking, like when it comes to ranked matches, you would normally see yourself having at least 10 bubbles. Bubbles are important because you want to have every single advantage as possible. So for example, when you place down a DOT, a damage over time, and Death has a 4 pip poison, which is being used right now, it can definitely deal some more damage. So okay, you're gonna be doing that, the poison, just so you can remove weakness, and just so you can go break that shield, leaving Antonio open. He could just, for example, place more set shields, and by the way, inside of this tournament you're only allowed to use up to 3 set shields, and he's just gonna hit Melissa with another -30 weakness. So Melissa is here with bubble control. The good news is that when you play as a Death, you can always, if you have a weakness on yourself or any debuff, you can always just like Dark Pact, or you can give yourself like an Empower. Dark Pact does give you like 2 blades for 2 rounds. It either +25 or +35. We're gonna go for that Mana Burn because I believe Melissa did not have enough, did not really watch out for the pips. Alright, so as of right now, Antonio has 2, 4, 6, 8, and he has a lot of HP. It's a lot. You're gonna go for the Dark Pack. That's a good move right there. Just I'm gonna get rid of that -30, and we are gonna get rid of that +35 blade though, which is kind of sucks. But you do gain a +25 for 2 turns. You still have bubble control, which is nice. What is it? Antonio has that DOT. You're gonna be placing down a Spirit Shield. Spirit Shields are really nice because what is it? Well, for one thing, they cost 0 pips. Number 2, you're protected against 3 different schools. And for example, let's say you're going against a storm. I'm not sure if this is entirely correct. Now, storms, they generally pack in like a storm prism, because generally what their opponents do is that they place down a set shield, so they won't really get hit. Now, with having a Spirit Shield or the equivalent of that, I think like an Elemental Shield, they get to kind of like bypass that. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But yeah, you're just gonna go for like another DOT, just to go trying to pressure him to be open, and yeah. So okay, what's gonna go happen for now? Yeah, you're just gonna get that DOT. And so Gaze is actually a really good spell. It actually got nerfed in the past. The beauty about this spell is that it actually, for example, you have yourself like 2 shields, it's gonna hit you twice. So it's gonna remove that. If you had like 2 tower shields, it's gonna remove the first tower shield, and I believe, again, correct me if I'm wrong, it's gonna remove that other tower shield because it hits you twice, and then it ends it off by changing the bubble, which is interesting. So the thing that Melissa needs to definitely do is that obviously, of course, you need to keep yourself you need to go keep yourself open. I mean, sorry, you need to go keep yourself uh having your guard, having your guard up by placing the tower shield. Placing the bubble was was a good move. But as of right now, you are still open. But then again, the beauty about playing as a death is that, you know, when you are getting closer and closer to 1/3 of your HP left, or if your opponent is getting closer to having 1/3 of their HP left, they can always use Scion of Death. But you're probably wondering, but wait, you're going against a balance. You need to go discard Scion of Death, and yes, that is true. But any other school, other PvP schools should definitely watch out for death, or yourself having 1/3 HP. Now, okay, so Melissa's definitely going to go for the infallible. So this is actually something that I've learned recently. Some people in this current meta, some people actually prefer using what is it? Shadow Strike, where you transform into that shadow being. You get plus 50% pierce, and you get more damage. But the problem with that is that, you have to deal with backlash. People can always, for example, like use Dispel on you, or like the Guile, and that's problematic, and you can just keep increasing your backlash. Whereas the cool thing about Infallible, thank you for the bits right there, is that it does give you that nice accuracy. It does give you that nice pierce, and for my character at least, I have 30% pierce on my death, and by having Infallible, I get to have 50% pierce, and I don't really get to have any of the problems of Shadow Strike with the backlash. Now, again, if you can remember like what I said, it is potentially problematic for yourself to go place down a star spell, because with balance, Antonio, he can always pop up a supernova, which will just destroy that. And you're gonna go for a Lulu, okay, which is nice. Do you have bubble control? You got a critical 25 with 35. Is Antonio open? And that is going to do some really nice damage, really fat damage, and going for that really beautiful heal over here. And yes, you do have bubble control. Yeah, so that's the thing. When you are fighting against a death, one of the things to watch out for is that they can always drain. Okay, you're just gonna go change bubble. Antonio here has 2, 3, 4, 5 pips. And okay, so what can Antonio do? He used to have like 10k HP. Okay, Alyssa is definitely going to go for a tower shield because we are open, and Antonio can threaten to go hit Melissa. And you're gonna go place down a steel ward. Pretty interesting move. The ward can actually be quite useful. Some people think that it's not really necessary, but steel ward can be really nice. For myself as a death, and talking to like my other death friends, it doesn't really matter because, for example, they can just place more DOTs such as poison. All right, so gonna go for another bubble. They're gonna have for a bubble war. The thing about bubble war is that it's important for yourself to let your opponent start it unless you have yourself 3 bubbles inside of your hand. You're gonna go for like another one over here, because if you are the one who starts bubble war, and if you don't have 3, then they're gonna be the ones that are gonna have that bubble control over there. Very important to go have that. Now there are cases where you're just gonna go for like another tower shield, I guess. I guess we're gonna use poison again. You're gonna be forced to hit through both of them. Yeah, the problem with death PvP is that they don't really have any signature moves. And honestly, in my opinion, I would probably recommend playing death if you're more of like an advanced player. Death is really fantastic for PvE. Okay, so Antonio, you're gonna go with the bubble. All right, And okay, so here we go with the V Plague spam. Again, V Plague spam is really annoying because they can't really do anything about it, but you gotta be careful about that because, you know, for example, they can always just pop, Antonio can always, you know, like use like an Empower, they can always just like one hit, just like right now, and you would actually waste yourself like 2 pips. V Plague is nice because if you don't have yourself any power shield or any thing to go protect yourself, or for example, they are inside of like Shadow Strike or they have like a significant amount of buffs, it's actually better to go place a V Plague or a weakness because if you're to go place a tower shield, they can always just pierce through the tower shield, especially if they're in strike, because they're gonna pierce through all of it. Okay, so this is gonna be a long match, and it is going to be a very close game. Because I already saw the match and I know like what's gonna happen. This is post commentary. Let's see. So, gonna go for a Winged Sorrow. Okay, critical 35, and that's gonna go pierce through that. That is a interesting move. Because that's not really gonna do a lot of damage. It's gonna place a -20 over there. I'm not really sure why you did that. Maybe because like, well, just to go keep your pips low, and you can go for Mocking Spiel, which is interesting because conversion. Now, if you see a balance, such as Antonio, that's doing a lot of damage because Melissa was open. If you see a balance with a Spirit Blade, or I think is it the Elemental Blade? I think it's Spirit Blade. They're gonna use Mocking Spiel. He didn't have one, so he didn't get those additional buffs. But if he did have one, see, like he has like an Empower right here. If he did have one, he would get himself like multiple blades. Okay, so like an Empower over here. All right, that's interesting. I'm forgetting like how many times he has used Mono Burn, but yeah, see, that -30. If Melissa did place down a V Plague, that would have been a waste of 2 pips, right? And would have been a great move for Antonio. Alright, so Antonio has a shit ton of pips right now. Melissa has 4 pips. You're gonna use your Death Blade. And again, you want to keep your pips low. Okay. So bubble control is still here. Balance spell, which is going to be another Mono Burn. Okay. Remember, inside of this tournament, you're gonna have to. Inside of this tournament, you can only use Mono Burn up to 5 times. You can bring in 10 inside of your deck, but you can use it 5 times. Go for another Blade. Okay, for sure. The problem here, I believe, is that Alyssa is open. Additionally, you're gonna go for this spell over here. You are open, and I think Antonia did steal that shield. Is that shield still there? No, that shield is not there. You're gonna go for that open hit. It's a strong hit, and you critical, and you are going to get another really nasty blow right there. So as of right now, Antonia definitely has a lot. Oh, nice. That's a really beautiful move right there. That's a really nice move. So yeah, so Antonio went for that open hit, dealt really 2,000 critical, 35. It does stack up really nicely, and you're gonna get yourself a lot of HP back. So that was a great move on both sides, both Antonio and Melissa. All right, so Melissa is definitely leading in terms of HP. Antonio is gonna be placing down a Spirit Shield just to kind of like protect herself against any additional hits. But then again, Melissa can always just, for example, place down a poison to go press her for a hit and to go chains bubble. All right. Maybe because even if you wanted to poison, you can't poison. Just go for bubble. Keeping your peps low is important. This is a really close match. Let's see. All right, what are you gonna go do? You're gonna be placing more bubbles. You're gonna go for another bubble. I am kind of concerned though because Melissa is open. I would probably recommend placing down at least a Tower Shield or maybe a weakness or like a V Plague. You just go Blade. Maybe you're unable to go look for that. Okay, you're just gonna go Blade. Okay, for sure. But then again, Antonio doesn't really have any significant buffs on himself. But then again, okay, you're gonna go for a Fortify or a Brace just to kind of just do some damage control for sure. Nothing really wrong about that. And can you dig for a Poison? I'm gonna go change Bubble again. All right, for sure. That's how you know, like, having bubble control is extremely important. Ooh, because you do not, because it's just a constant plus 20%. You go for an Unveiling Hands. By the way, a new tip that I learned recently is that, you know, having an infection on your opponent, which is, I believe, like a minus 50% recovery. If you're to place that on a balance or on a life, they're gonna strongly hesitate to heal again because they know like they're not going to really benefit from it. Interesting with the Dark Pact. I wasn't really paying too much attention, but I'm not sure if Melissa didn't have any weakness. But okay, so you're gonna have yourself that. Okay. So the thing here is that Antonio has 2 shields on him. He has that Spirit Shield, and he also has that. I'm gonna look closely. He only has, yeah, he has a Spirit Shield as well as a Brace. And I guess the thing here is that, ooh, this Helpful Manager. So this minion, oh, he's saying his stack is failing. So this minion is actually really cracked. And by cracked, like, I'm being serious. So this minion is, it can place a mantle minus 45. It can give pips to Antonio. It can place weaknesses. It can have an AoE spell. It can break shields. It can place like a Spirit Shield or Elemental Shield. There's no bad spells this minion has. Right, it's a really great minion. But the thing here is that, generally speaking, you wouldn't want to place a minion on a death because the minions are often defenseless. They have nothing on them. They're practically naked in terms of like gear stats. And if, for example, Melissa were to use Scarecrow, which is 7 pips, which is not really recommended. But then again, that's more like a rule. Like that's just more like a general rule in thumb. There's no rule black and white stuff over here. Is that if Melissa were to use Scarecrow or Lulu or any drain spell, a AoE drain spell, then they're gonna just recover like a lot of HP. So generally speaking, when it comes to like Warlord or near Warlord, people will almost always never place down a minion because you're just giving like the Death Wizard a lot of the opportunity to go heal for mass. Alright, so Melissa right here has 2, 4, 6, 8 alongside with a Shadow Pip. So if Melissa wanted to, you could place down like another Lulu. And so for Antonio, you're just gonna be placing down, like, look at this one. You're gonna be placing down this Elemental Shield, which is a waste of a turn. However, if this Helpful Manager places down a Spirit Shield on himself, well, if Melissa wanted to use Lulu or Scarecrow, then because of that minus 50 death Spirit Shield, I won't really able to collect a lot of HP. So you're still going to be able to collect a lot, but still, you could collect more if the Helpful Manager does not place down a Spirit Shield. All right, so Antonio over here has a DOT, just to go try and press her for a hit. My suspicion here is you're gonna go for, okay, you got a critical, and you're just gonna go go for that Mono Burn again. And it is important for me to remember. Okay, and this minus 50, minus 50, minus 50. So the thing about these minions is that you gotta take them down as soon as possible. However, at the same time, they can be very annoying because like they can always summon another minion, right? Another thing to also remember is that, at least for myself, that you can use a minion against a death, but again, it's not recommended because, at least for my deck, and I saw some of my other friends, like high-ranking death PvPers, they they don't really bring in a lot of AoE hits. They have like 4, 6 AoEs, and you would actually have to go dig for one. Okay, you're gonna go use Kisma. Alright, for sure. And yeah, so Kisma is a great spell, especially against going against a balance, because you know, number one, it's I believe 4 pips and a shad, and it does really nice damage. So going for that open hit, 1698, with that brace right over there, pressing for a hit. Now, another nice pro tip here is, for example, if you do encounter yourself an ice. Ices, they're known for having a lot of really high resist, and they were to go for a brace, you should not hit them. Other schools, if they have a brace up, you can generally hit them, provided if you have like a buff. But because for ice, you know, with that brace, they're like at 80 plus res, and res stands for resistance. All right, you're gonna go for a tower shield. Antonio can threaten with stealing shields, but he only used that once. But then again, he could use that again. This match is very largely a shield match, and you know, that's the importance of having a timer here. You're gonna go for like a 1 hit, okay, just to like get rid of that. All right. And by the way, ideally, like when you do have a debuff, the ideal, sometimes you can't reach that ideal, is if they have a tower shield and you were to have a weakness, such as, for example, if Melissa placed down a V Plague, a -40 on Antonio, and Melissa also has a tower shield, then the ideal is you can use that 1 hit and get a nice 2-in-1. Alright. So... Alright, okay, Arturius is definitely a bitch, the Arturius version for balance, because it can place a weakness, and it also does give a pierce. It's like a 3-in-1 spell. It attacks you, it gives them a pierce, and it gives them a weakness. It's that 3-in-1. That's like the beauty of Arturius. And again, the thing about this minion is that if you're to place a tower shield, and if the minion can always just break it, which would be a waste of a shield. So Melissa right now has 1006. You're gonna go for a sacrifice. That's a good move. -45. Get rid of that weakness from Arturius, and give yourself some really nice HP. 1133. Antonio has 1184 HP. His brace is going to expire, and you're gonna place a -55. And what are you gonna do, Helpful Commander? You're gonna place down. Okay, that's kind of a wasted move. But this minion, if you're not going against a death, this is the minion that you need to like prioritize getting rid of, because it can be very annoying to go deep. Alright, you're gonna place on a poison, of course, just to go pressure for a hit. Melissa does have the advantage with 2009. What were you doing, by the way, in the year 2009? Has 4 pips, Antonio with 4 pips as well, with a shadow. So as of right now, the thing here is Antonio can actually, if he wanted to, he can with Melissa open, he could go with like a shadow hit. Let's see. And the minion is just going to place down buff, I think. Let's see. Okay. And you're just placing down a tower shield. Okay. These Mallory love emojis. Nice. Okay. So Antonio here is with the bubble control. I can't really say too much right now. Nothing really too interesting is happening. Just gonna go both either ways. They are both chipping them away, and that's, as you can see with that mocking spiel, because Melissa is open. Actually, no, Melissa did place down a tower shield. Yeah. if the minion, the Helpful Mounder, placed down like a hit, the tower shield would have been for nothing. That open hit. Oh man, this is really close. Both of them are at less than 1,000 HP. This can go both either way. Antonia with a bubble. Melissa here with 6 pips and Shadow hit. Antonia with that DOT. And let's see. And there's about 2 minutes left of this match. It can go either way. It can go either way. Oh, gonna go for a Headless Horseman, which is a fantastic move. One of my favorite spells inside of the game. I'm honored that this is a school Death has, especially very thematic for Halloween. You can get it from Lore Master during like Halloween season. 696. Ooh, and the DOT is just going to just push him into that position. Dang, it's not enough. Okay, so Antonio here has 2 pips, 1 power pip, and that is go for another one over here. I wonder if Melissa can actually follow up with like another hit. This is extremely close, but it looks like Melissa here. Okay, what's the Mander gonna go do? By the way, the Mander can also change bubbles. See, there we go. This Mander is so broken. That's why you gotta like get rid of it. I am interested like why Melissa is not going for a drain. Maybe like can't pull for one, or gonna pierce through that with the poison. And ooh, with a minute left to spare, the DOT is going to just defeat Antonio. And yeah, both of them played really well. Really well. And this is a match that is obviously going on YouTube while I'm doing this post commentary. And the minion is alive. Imagine if like the minion was like the one who actually wins the match. Yeah, that was a great game. Not a good game. It was a great game. I will always love these really close matches. So yeah. I'm gonna go back to that original audio. I'm gonna interview Melissa, who's actually a dude. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to me on YouTube. I do these weekly tournaments on Twitch every Saturday. The winners get 5,000 crowns, and if the match is close, then you can also be on YouTube as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and yeah. Okay, so a prediction. It's choose outcome. BW is the underdog, right? Yeah, yeah, 21% of the points was for BW, 79 was for just the users. So like, BW, how does it feel?
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a counter. That was a counter matchup, so I'm really happy that I came up with a dub. That was a counter matchup.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like there were some clutch moments?
Oh yeah, the biggest clutch moment was easily when I sacrificed after we King Artorias. That was such a clutch moment right there.
Yeah. Now I understand sacrifice. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, cause that was such a good.
Sacrifice is only used for clutch moments, or is there any other utility for sacrifice?
It's really good. Like when you have a bunch of, it's pretty much it serves the same purpose as Dark Pact, but it's a heal.
I see.
Yeah.
So now,
I'm guessing that if it would have went down to timer though, I probably would have won, right? Because he healed more. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that was a good match.
Yeah, that was great.